Hey guys, once GP here, and today I'm going to be talking about what I count when I do count my coaster credits. So, in the most basic and simplest form, coaster credits are the number of coasters that you've ridden. And it is very widely accepted that one coaster equals one credit, regardless of how many times you ride it. So, that's not something I'm going to clarify, although I guess I just did. Anyways, so I've seen a lot of other coaster YouTubers put out their videos on how they rank their credits, specifically Airtime Thrills done it a while ago, and then Coaster Daddy had recently done it. And while I agree for some of it, there's quite a bit that I disagree with, whether it be them or other coaster videos that I've seen. So I'm just going to clean slate. I'm going to tell you how I do it. You know, just because the way I do it is the right way doesn't mean that you can't have fun doing it another way. Probably the most agreeable way to count a credit is a brand new ride equals one new credit. That's pretty straightforward. Nothing really to complain about there. Moving on, I guess we will go into relocations, and I count that as one credit per relocation. Just because it's a new experience, new setting, all that is new. So I would count that as a new credit. Next would be conversions. Mainly, I'm thinking about stand-up into floorless, and I would definitely count that also as a new credit. You ride it just completely differently. Stand-up is its own class of coaster, and so is a floorless, so I'd count that as two different credits. Next, I'm going to talk about racing coasters, and there are a few different variations of racing coasters. Like West Coast Racers would be one credit because it's a racing coaster, but it's all one continuous circuit. It's all on one track, so that's one credit. But where I differ is on rides like the Racer 75, and Gemini. Those would all be two credits because they have two separate tracks, two separate layouts, if you will. Now, coasters that have been kept exactly the same, just rebuilt from the ground up, I'm thinking the Incredible Hulk coaster at Universal in Florida, that would be not a new credit. I say that because they try to keep the entire experience the same, just a little more modern, a little smoother, a little updated, just trying to maintain it. I think that's kind of why I stand where I stand because of that. Same kind of goes for retracking, specifically on wooden coasters. I would not count that as a new credit. There's nothing really different about that. Next, coming up, we have forwards and backwards, and I would not count that as a separate credit. I am thinking about specifically the Racer at Kings Island. The Blue Train previously had run backwards, and I would not count that as a new credit. Then the forwards running Blue Train, I would keep that the same. A rename of the ride that doesn't change anything besides the theming, I would also not count as another credit. I feel like this one is self-explanatory, but a new seat does not equal a new credit. So riding in the front versus riding in the back versus riding on the left versus riding on the right. Specifically on wind coasters, left versus right would not count that as a different credit. Riding the same ride when something has been altered, I'm thinking right now of Intimidator 305, that first turn after the hill, after the drop. I would not count that as a new credit, but I would make a note about that. And really the only thing I can think of besides all of that would be an RMC conversion, and that is obviously a new credit. Mean Streak to Steel Vengeance are completely separate rides. That's kind of all I can think about. If I'm missing any sorts of scenarios or whatnot, let me know, and I will give you guys what I think. And that is kind of it. I'm sorry I took a little bit of a break. I technically didn't. I still got this one out this week, which is my goal. I just didn't upload it on Sunday, which is normally what I like to do, but the week is my goal. So I'll be back to uploading on Sunday, and I'm going to upload how I log all these credits and whatnot on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Besides that, like I said, if you have anything, just let me know. I'm more than happy to take questions, comments, or concerns. And that should be it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.